America as a country got rich off of racism and slavery. So this country is based on the trading and the selling and the destruction and rape and torture of African bodies. So the idea that racism can go away because of some laws in the books or some time pass is a fallacy. Racism is at the heart and soul of our institutions. The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, those are documents written by men who owned slaves. So their mentality was such that they are greater than other people. And when you have that mentality, you're gonna make sure that your children and your grandchildren and your grandchildren's children maintain the status quo. And so they set up, you know, with the profits from the slave trade, they made sure that white people in the elite class maintain that level of wealth. So in order for racism to not be a problem in American society, we have to change our whole form of government. We have to destroy the country and start over. The people in power are not going to let that happen, so racism is always going to be a deciding factor and a major force in our institutions. People get the illusion that it's gone because it's not in your face. No one calls you a nigger to your face anymore. They don't have to. We call ourselves niggas. They don't have to do it. The racism is so institutionalized that poor people, black people, oppressed people, we enslave ourselves just from how we live. So, and that's how it's set up.
Fake thug life, I mean that shit. Cause these white folks see us as thugs. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care if you think you a lawyer, if you a man, if you an African American, if you whatever the fuck you think you are. We thugs and niggas to these motherfuckers. You know? And until we own some shit, I'ma call it like it is. How you gonna be a man and we starving? You know? And you can walk by 5 different houses, ain't a man in either one of them motherfuckers. How we gonna be a man? How we gonna be African Americans and we out here dying? We thugs and we niggas until we set this shit right. Trust me when I tell you that shit.
Let me say this shit right, cause I want this to be as offensive as I can fucking make it for these old ass punks that's running these record labels. You know, that's in the powerful positions to dictate what the black community hears and listens to. You know what I mean? I fucking hate that shit. Like, that shit pisses me off. Like, there's no fucking way that you can tell me that it's not a conspiracy against the blacks in hip hop. Because you put out fucking records that make us look stupid. You make us look dumb. You brainwash a generation. You brainwash a generation of hip hoppers with this fucking crud. And then when these other rappers come out, splitting it down the middle, these other rappers shit sound like, wow, y'all look great. Y'all look stupid. Y'all look great. Y'all look stupid. Y'all look great. And then, you know, motherfuckers start going over here, and then pretty soon, you know, hip hop is white now.
In Africa, in all the countries that you went to, does white supremacy exist anywhere in there? Have you seen it?
Let me tell you this, and I'm not gonna bullshit you, because y'all know who I am. I've seen more white supremacy than I can possibly imagine in Africa. I'm talking so much white supremacy where in Cliptown, where the new Black Panther Party adopted an orphanage, I had to put that out there for the haters. In Cliptown, where you'll find porta potties lined up on the sidewalk, 6 porta potties, 6 to 10 porta potties lined up on the sidewalk. This is the bathrooms for the entire village of Cliptown. I'm talking white supremacy to the fact that in Cliptown, where just as we can walk directly across the street to the subway, we can walk directly across the street to the train station, and as the poor people live on one side, Sonetta, the white man, the old crooked bagel-eating bastard, and his rich diamond stores and his rich clothing stores all up on the other side of the train station. Literally within 10 walking steps. It's a dramatic change just like that. So the white man is still the devil in Africa. He's the devil in America. Damn it, he's the devil in Europe. He's the devil walking right here on the streets of 125th Street in New York City.
Can the black race be a sovereign while white supremacy exists? There's a few questions. That's one of them. Can the black race be sovereign while white supremacy exists? What do you say to that? Brother Polite is taking a stance from, yes, we can be sovereign.
Second question, You have to be an absolute fool to honestly believe that sovereignty is the best way for black people in the white man's country. To hell with all the, yeah, we came here first and all that type stuff. To hell with that. You have to be mindful that in this country, this Peckerwood makes laws every single minute of the day. Just as he makes laws to change those laws. And he makes counter laws. So really, that sovereignty bullshit is not helping black people at all. Because you cannot separate black power and sovereignty. It's impossible. That's like trying to say, as I said earlier, you got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you ain't got no peanut butter. It's impossible. So we're walking around here foolish as hell, still intellectually trying to lick the white man's behind any way possible. Because when you discredit black power, you're discrediting the words and the teachings of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. You're discrediting the words and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You're discrediting the words of, as much as I may not agree with everything he says, Noble Drew Ali. And many others, because you're still holding on to the umbilical cord of the white man through his politics. And I can't trust a Negro or a she-Negro that still believes that sovereignty will get us out of our goddamn condition of police brutality, homosexuality, miseducation, welfare, just every damn thing. So if sovereignty was the way then, hell, we would have been free a long time ago. So obviously, it has not worked. So we're back to the old setting, that old time religion again of, as you can see it right here, black power. There is no separation from that. What does black power mean? To define, develop, and defend. Define, develop, and defend what is in the interest of black people. That's all it means. Simply means to define, develop, and defend what is in the best interest of our people walking on 125th Street right now that's starving. What is in the best interest of our people right now on 125th Street that walking around here butt naked? Mentally, spiritually, economically, morally, all across the board.
My position is that the black criminals they're not products of black culture, they're products of American culture. The American culture is the one that glorifies gangsters in movies like Scarface and Godfather and all this kind of stuff. We don't make those kind of movies that glorify gangsters.
Even American Gangster was produced by white Hollywood,
That's right? American Gangster, all that stuff. These are Americans are the ones. So the black thugs are products of American culture, not black culture.
I look at MTV Cribs, and it's funny because all the rappers or gangster rappers particularly have a big poster of Scarface.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about it is, I know I read Snoop Dogg autobiography. Yeah. He said when he first saw the movie Scarface, to them, white folks, it was a fantasy. But for black people, it was like, look at it as an option.
Yeah. Well, let's put it there for black people like him.
Like him, right.
Just like white people say, we can use the N-word now.
Right.
Why? Because the gangster rappers use it. Dick Gregory uses it.
Right.
You know, so what?
But they created the word, right? I mean, like it's like white folks created the word, right?
Well, do you hear Jewish people go around called? I think it is ridiculous that black people be having forums on whether or not we should call each other the N-word. Do you hear Jewish people going around having a big forum whether they should call each other kikes?
They're too busy controlling economics and stuff.
Or call each other kikes?
Right.
Or the Chinese having forums where they should call each other coolies?
Right.
You don't adopt the name just because somebody else is using it. Then you're going to say, oh, well, well, if we use it, it's cool. I mean, I get on the subway coming home. That's why I try to stay off the DC subways when schools let out. Because those kids get on those subways and buses and they be just loud. But of course, they know where to do that, though. Because if they get on those buses going up Connecticut Avenue, they be like little Boy Scouts. They do that in those buses that come up, mainly in the black community. They don't get on those when they get on that X2 or that 70 bus, they carry on like that. You let them get on those buses, 42 and those buses that go up the white air part of DC. Boy, you think they were Boy Scouts? They sit in those buses and keep their mouths shut. Or if they talk to each other in a way that's not where they're not talking over the whole.
It's not threatening or not, loud.
So they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They know that this society allows them. Like I tell some of the young brothers I used to know in Harlem, they allow you all to kill each other. If you all were killing white bums, not white businessmen or politicians, if you all were killing white bums, the way y'all would kill each other, y'all would be stopped. If you all were killing the children of black middle class, you would be stopped. Because if the police didn't do it, then the black middle class would get together and stop it. Mm-hmm. And what we have here, this is another way, I mean when I say, you got to look at things correctly before you can do something about it. It's not black males killing black males.
Right.
It's low-income black males killing other low-income black males. In most all instances of homicides in the black communities.
Right.
And in most instances, the person being killed know the person who killed them. It's not a case of strangers, just walking up shooting people. Now, you gonna tell me they could not stop that if they really wanted to? No, they allowed. I tell them they allow y'all to kill each other. You go out there and shoot some white bum laying down in the gutter and shoot him and see what happens.
We are deeply steeped in what's called white supremacy.
Right.
And once we get rid of that notion, and let me tell you something else about white supremacy. White folk need to get rid of white supremacy because that's hurting them more than it hurts us.
That's right.
Because it's making them think they're somebody that they really are not. And guess what? The Dolly House is falling right now. And they're about to learn exactly what they are and who they are. I don't have time to convert. If I have to convince you of what I have to say, nothing I can say will convince you.
That's right.
If I don't have to say anything to convince you, then just let's get it on. I don't have to say anything. I don't have time to convert. My days of converting are over. 3 out of 100 folk, I'm aiming at that. 3 out of 100. If they say there are 30 million African peoples, and there's more, but let's say there's 30 million, 43 million, okay, well let me give you my math with 30 million. If it's 43, my number's going to be bigger. But with 30 million, 3% of 30 million is 90,000. That's a good number to start our nation with. And I'm ready to go with that.